Happy Monday morning. I'm meteorologist Tom Schmidt with Ozarks First, and on today's episode of Science of Schmidt, we're going to be looking at controlled burns, why it's important to prescribe fire sometimes to pasture land and even underbrush in the forests. Well, that's a good thing to do. We're also going to take a look at the forecast ahead for us. Is it going to be good burning conditions or not so great? The time is right. This is the time of year you want to have those controlled burns. But let's take a look now at exactly what we saw from yesterday. Quick satellite transition here. We saw quite a good amount of burning yesterday, actually. You can see on satellite those plumes, those white plumes developing as the day goes on from satellite, mostly in southern Missouri and a big one there in northern Arkansas as well. A good day for burning yesterday on your Sunday. What made it so great was that the humidity was low yesterday. The wind was also not a huge deal yesterday, all right? You don't want your wind to be too high. You want it to be a calm wind, around 10 miles an hour is just about perfect for prescribed burning. And now you want the humidity to also be low so that the fire will spread and catch things pretty easily, but you want the low winds so that it doesn't get you out of control too easily either. So this was yesterday, your Sunday. Good-looking view there. Had a lot of folks sparking off some fires, and you may have noticed a lot of smoke in the air yesterday. A lot of folks taking advantage of the nicer conditions there. All right, so something else that's going on is, the prescribed burning season. And so it's not just, one day here or there. It looks like the rest of the week and probably next week as well. A little late by then. But you're looking at that's the best time for controlled burns to take place. So the question, of course, is why do you set things on fire? Why do you want your grassland and even some of your underbrush to be burned up? Well, part of the reason for that is because, because it kind of helps clean things up, right? It restores the grass health to spring up in the springtime. It's a healthier grass, a greener grass to come up initially. Gets rid of all the underbrush, okay? So all your dead grass from the year before, even the 2 years before, is going to get burned up. And sometimes that extra layer of dead grass on the top can help kind of prevent new grass from spiking up. So you just want to clean it all off, start from a clean slate, and that's why this time is especially good for burning, for controlled burns, because your grass is still dormant. Your grass from last year is still dry. It's still brown. And the green grass underneath is starting to peak up probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. You'll start to see some green grass up here in these pastures. So this is actually the good time to burn because it's not too green. Your pastures can set on fire pretty easily. And it allows just things to start over from a clean slate. Also, another good thing about prescribed fire is that it helps kind of clean up what we're seeing around there. So that means the next time that there is a wildfire to come through an area that hasn't been burned in the past, means that the impact of that wildfire will be more than if you do a prescribed burn. If you do a prescribed burn, there's not as much fuel for the fire to come through and burn. So this is a video here from my family's property down in Oklahoma. We did that this weekend, and you can see if this was August, September, when things can be windy, hot, and dry, your wildfire season typically, and we hadn't burned the property, well, that means that there'd just be more fuel for a wildfire to come through and burn up. So by doing these prescribed burns, you also lower your risk of a wildfire later on in the year. So there's some good benefits here, okay? You're mitigating your wildfire risk later on in the year. You're also helping promote healthy pasture growth. Your grasses will be a little healthier as they spring back in the spring season. And you also help control some of the weeds also. So grass will grow earlier. Your weeds may or may not recover from this, okay? Your grass, remember, is under the ground. Its root system, where it begins, is underground. A lot of the weeds aren't quite the same. They're more of a surface-based. You cut off the top, and they're typically done for one growing season. So that's what we got, okay? So it's a lot of good things for prescribed burning. Now, looking ahead, we've got a couple windy days ahead for us here, today being one of them. So what does that mean? Well, unfortunately, fire danger is going to be high for us, especially across western Missouri for today, your Monday, March 10th, and also for your Tuesday. All right, so we have higher winds today, not terribly strong wind, but enough wind around 10 to 20 miles an hour with gusts over 20 miles an hour at times. And you pair that with very dry air, relative humidity between about 15% and 25%, and you're going to see your fire danger increase. Now, it'll be a good day for fire to spread quickly, but what that means is that your controlled burn can quickly become an uncontrolled burn. It can get away from you. And if that, like what I mean when I say get away from you, if you're just trying to burn the pastures, and let's say you get a 20-mile-an-hour wind gust, and all of a sudden 5 seconds goes by and you've got trees on fire because the fire went from the grass into the tree line, and because it's so dry, your fire fuels will catch pretty fast. Cedar trees especially will catch pretty quickly too. So today's not a good burning day. Tomorrow also probably a little worse for folks burning, especially in most of Missouri and most of Arkansas. It'll be windy everywhere, very windy. Today it's not going to be windy south of the interstate. So if you live in Ava, West Plains, Eminence, parts of Oregon County, Ozark County, into Mountain Home, Melbourne, Arkansas, for today, you'll be okay. However, tomorrow, not going to be okay. Not really good conditions setting up for burning on your Monday or your Tuesday. Now, the conditions do get a little better for you on your Wednesday. So Wednesday should be a pretty good day for folks to get out and do some more prescribed burning. Middle of the week, I know, if you're thinking, gosh, why can't this come over the weekend? The weekend actually looks okay for that as well. Wednesday, Thursday will be okay. Friday is very windy. Friday's not a good day to do any burning, and we have a chance of rain and thunderstorms Friday night. So Saturday may not be your best time over the weekend to do any prescribed burning. Sunday, however, may be okay. Mid-60s, wind not too windy, maybe 5 to 10 miles an hour, and humidity should be okay. The only drawback could be if we see a lot of rain, that could cut into the effectiveness of how much fire you're able to prescribe onto a pasture. It could just be too wet. But this weekend is certainly going to be something to watch if you have a field you want to get out and burn. Saturday, probably a little iffy. Sunday would probably be the better one for that. All right, so happy Monday. Enjoy the week ahead. It will be nice weather. The only drawback is going to be that fire danger for today and tomorrow. Again, Wednesday looks okay. Temperatures this week, though, we're talking 70s, even some 80s through Thursday, and then we are watching a storm risk on your Friday. We'll jump into more of that as the week goes on, as we get closer. Happy Monday. Have a good week, and enjoy the nice weather.